From Gloucester County College, Comcast Cable, Channel 5 presents high school wrestling. Tonight, it's the District 29 Finals. Hello, everyone, with John Vogeling and Nick Mitcho. I'm John Mondelli. We're going to talk about the consolations. We're going to talk about the finals. The semifinals were exciting, but we had some really good showings in this tournament so far, and it seems like all the schools are doing well, Nick.
Well, you've seen good representation from all the schools in this district, which is a great thing to see. Back from me being from Glassboro, it's nice to see some maroon and gold back in the finals. And again, Paulsboro puts 9 into the finals again, 4 freshmen. The tournament has run very smoothly, as I talked to you earlier with Mr. Anashevsky and Mr. Frederick and my buddy here, Mr. Voge. They've done a great job again this year, and we're looking for some interesting finals, and great job again.
Well, Voge, obviously Paulsboro is doing well. They're sending 14 into the semifinals, so they have advanced all 14 wrestlers into the consolations and finals. But other schools, Pittman as expected, Clayton's doing well, and Nick brought up Glassboro.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that's interesting about the district this year. You see Paulsboro, which virtually has the tournament all locked up going into the finals, but Pittman is wrestling very well, Clayton extremely well, and Glassboro's rising up again. So some of the schools that we're not used to seeing, we're used to seeing Clearview and West Deptford up near the top. We're seeing different faces now.
Of course, it looks like everything went as planned. The seeding people did well. Only one seed lost, and actually in that weight class, the 1 and 2 seeds at 135.
Yeah, they both lost, so we're going to have a couple of lesser seeds going for the title tonight. But I think it's a tribute to the coaches and the homework they did. Very little discussion in the seeding meeting. And as you mentioned, all number 1, number 2 seeds virtually got through the tournament. So it's an extremely good job by the coaches.
Of course, last year, DeJuan Collins of Deptford was a district champ. He's going to be wrestling in the consolations tonight, Nick.
Well, not only was he a district champ, but he was the tournament's most outstanding wrestler. It's going to be some good, anything can happen, you know. We're hoping to see CJ Marina's tough. They were counting that as being the main event between he and CJ Marina. But I think CJ Marina is going to have his hands full with Zandler from Gateway. So it's going to be great either way, whether it's Zandler or Collins.
Voge, back when Nick wrestled in the early 80s, 3rd place didn't go to regions. You like that move?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It gives you a little bit more room for error, and of course it takes into consideration how good the quality of wrestling has become in many instances. So now you can make a mistake and still go on to the next level, and I think that's very important. And of course, when you go on to the next level, the top 3 at the Region 8 tournament go on to the state tournament, which is now a 3-day weekend affair, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they wrestle all the way back to 8th place, which didn't exist when Nikki was wrestling.
And of course, we have a few wrestlers that are going to be, 4-time district place winners. We won't have any 4-time district champs, but 4-time district place winners.
Right, David Smith of Paulsboro is in his 4th district final. He's won twice already. And Trevor Suter's in the finals. He's a 4-time district finalist, and he's going after his 3rd consecutive district championship.
Okay, I see Nikki almost got taken down. We're going to wrap it up here. When we come back, we'll have the consolations in the finals. All that coming up next here on Channel 5.
on mat number 1, 112-pound consolation. Eric Smith of Pittman, Justin Sullivan of Paulsboro. Now wrestling on mat number 1. On deck on mat 1, 130-pound consolation. Rainer Paulson of Paulsboro, Chris Cartella of Clearview. On deck, mat number 1. A result from mat 1, 103-pound consolation. D.J. Thomas of Pittman. Won by decision over Kyle Wilson of Gateway. Score 4-0. Now wrestling on mat number 2, 125-pound consolation. Matt Bianco of Clayton, Steve McCall of Deptford. Now wrestling on mat number 2. On deck on mat number 2, 135-pound consolation. Jim Graham of Pittman, Jason Brown of Clearview. On deck on mat 2. Result from mat 2. 119-pound consolation, Brad Holmes of West Deptford. Won by decision over Eric Smith of Clayton. Score 5-0. Now wrestling on mat number 1, 130-pound consolation. Rainer Paulson of Paulsboro, Chris Cartella of Clearview. Now wrestling on mat number 1. On deck, mat number 1, 145-pound consolation, Jonathan Campbell of Gloucester, Drew McCorkle of Pittman. On deck on mat number 1. A result from mat 1, 112-pound consolation, Justin Sullivan of Paulsboro, won by a fall over Eric Smith of Pittman. Time of the fall, 2 minutes, 42 seconds. 2:42. Now wrestling on mat number 2, 135-pound consolation, Jim Graham of Pittman, Jason Brown of Clearview. Now wrestling on mat number 2. On deck, mat number 2, 140-pound consolation, Mark Treckner of Clayton, Jared Camlin of Clearview. On deck on mat 2. Result from mat number 2, 125-pound consolation, Matt Bianco of Clayton, won by a fall over Steve McCall of Deptford. Time of the fall, 2 minutes, 43 seconds. 2:43.
Some of the best comments ever made in high school wrestling. Anyway, Cartella in complete control in this match, though. And he's in on the legs once again. Olsen's already been hit for a warning for stalling, so he's got to fight back, and you'll see Cartella in deep.
Baby's now 20, you okay?
Got a stalemate. Of course, Cartella, the number 2 seed, coming in. And he lost in overtime 12-10 to Darren Carrero of Deptford. Carrero was the number 3 seed. And Olsen, a tough one against the number
8. And then he was rode out. Couldn't escape in the final sudden death. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more action after this timeout.
Number 150.
Back at Gloucester County College, Consolation Wrestling, District 29 tournament, 145 pounds. Jonathan Campbell of Glassboro coming in 12-6. Drew McCorkle of Pittman 11-10. Nick, and we're scoreless for the first period. And Campbell had to go up against Chuck Martell in the semis, and Martell just put on a takedown clinic, 22-7, a victory there. And McCorkle had a 7-0 lead over Bobby Tunstall before losing 15-9. And earlier this season in a dual meet, I didn't know if you had a chance to see it, we saw McCorkle and Tunstall in a match where there was confusion at the scorer's table what the actual score was, and McCorkle ended up winning. And a little revenge for Tunstall today. So now it's for 3rd place.
Well, I know Campbell came from St. Augustine. He had been at St. Augustine, so he had to sit out earlier in the year. That's why his record doesn't indicate as many wins as as many matches as he could have had. But he is a tough cookie in Glassboro. 11-6. He's only a sophomore. Still no score in this match. As you see Campbell there trying for a cradle, and it looks like I don't think he's getting any points there yet, but
nothing yet.
Nothing being called yet. It looks like he's in a really odd predicament there. You don't really usually see that too much, but he has him in a cradle, but somehow Campbell didn't get any points out of that.
And he's got to watch it. He doesn't get reversed. Nothing.
He did get one. They gave
the escape.
They gave McCorkle one for an escape with 48 seconds left, so they're looking. Coach Casabone from Glassboro wasn't real happy with that escape. He didn't think that the neutral position should have been awarded here, but they're on their feet, and here we go.
I always think it comes down to a takedown anyway. Somebody's going to have to get the takedown.
Campbell really fighting in there for that single leg. McCorkle has a little bit of leverage on Campbell. He's a little taller than Campbell, so he's using his leverage to fight off those takedowns.
It's funny you bring up Campbell. I had a chance to see St. Augustine wrestle last week in a wild match. They could have used him, you know, a match here and there.
Well, I know the Glassboro, he originally was from Glassboro, so I know the Glassboro people were real happy to have him back. What he needs to do there, he's trying that cradle again. He's still not getting any points. If he could have just jumped to the other side there, and now he's got himself in some trouble again. And you see McCorkle there doesn't get awarded anything. Saved by the bell.
Absolutely. 1-0. They go to the 3rd. Campbell starts on the bottom.
McCorkle working that near arm chop.
First, Campbell's got to get his head off the mat.
McCorkle riding real tough on with a claw ride there. Trying to power half.
Must be another one of your students that keep walking by. They all smile when they have that Clearview shirt on, Nick.
Clearview kids. I have them down there at that little elementary school in Center City. And there's a beautiful Peterson, but it looks like Campbell's going to get some control here, but no points have been awarded yet. Now he finally gets the 2 for a reversal on McCorkle and goes up 2-1.
It's going to be interesting now, Nick. Does he want to try? Obviously, he's going to hold him down here as long as he can. He's not going to let him go. But he's got to stay active on top with the 2-1 lead.
And he goes right to the legs. He must be comfortable with the legs, and he's trying a little bit of a power half here, maybe try to get a tilt for back points. Campbell has been wrestling with Means in practice, and Means is a real good leg wrestler on top. So as you see there, he's going for what they call the banana split.
But he's got to watch out. He's got to watch out that he doesn't get himself in trouble.
And he's getting his hips a little low. One thing you don't want to do is you got to keep your hips up when you have those legs in and you're on top. He only has 19 seconds to ride him out here, so he would love to be able to just kind of hang in there and ride out, but there's a time was stopped to have the wrestler put the headgear on. You don't usually see that much, but especially with only 20 seconds left in a close match. But they call it. That gives McCorkle another chance here because it looked like he was tied up pretty well on the bottom there. See Campbell really riding tough. He's got to keep McCorkle down with 9 seconds left. McCorkle goes for the headlock, and he does not get the points yet. No points.
Nothing, and we're going to have an argument right here. I look at Bill Chiappi. He's looking for points. Now, McCorkle thinks he got him.
They're really fighting for it.
And the official says no, he counts 2-1 win. Campbell.
What an exciting ending to a match. McCorkle had to go for it there, John, and he did. You got to give him credit there. He went for the headlock, and he almost had it.
Okay, let's go over to the other mat. 140 pounds, Mark Tregner, 18-7 at Clayton, Jared Camlin of Clearview. We have 145 left.
Camlin, the junior, on top from Clearview. He's the 6th seed in this tournament.
Tregner has the 4-2 lead.
Tregner, a sophomore. Right there, as you see the anchor on his back from Clayton. He was the 4th seed. 18-7 record as he goes for the cradle, the far cradle there. Camlin's doing a good job of trying to stay out of that cradle.
Of course, Camlin has a pretty big upset. He came in number 6 seed and knocked off Rob DiPolito on Friday night, who was the 3 seed, 3-2, before falling to Bill Stockel of Glassboro, 5-2. .51 seconds left, 6-3 lead for Tregner.
Tregner in deep on a single, but Camlin's using his leverage again. As you can see, a good cross face there by Camlin. Camlin, see him grabbing that ankle through the legs there, using that as leverage, and cross face. He's going to get 2 here, John. He gets it, and he might even get more. As he stays with it, he tries to get extra back points. Nothing yet. He's trying to reverse half here. If he gets that reverse half in there tough, he's going to get the back points.
Well, he only has 10 seconds to do it, and a nice job by Tregner. He might get a reversal. He does. Well, 8-3.
He did give him a reversal out of that.
Yep. Not sure if it was 8-3 or 8-5. 8-5, I was going to say. Thought it was an 8-5. Tregner wins.
Clayton again sends another wrestler to the regions.
Let's move to 152. We have Christian Sullivan of Paulsboro, 9-9. Andrew Lewis of West Deptford, 10-11. Lewis, another 6 seed, winning on Friday night, defeating Jason Lipset of Gloucester Catholic, 11-6 to get here before he lost. He was pinned by Dan Cliver of Clayton, or lost to Dan Cliver of Clayton, I should say, 6-0. And Christian Sullivan pinned by Eric Larson of Pittman. So that's how these two wrestlers got to this point.
Lewis really working that hammer lock there on Sullivan.
He has a 2-0 lead.
He has to watch it though, because they will call potentially dangerous on that. If he takes it up past the 90-degree angle there, they'll stop it as the period ends. Lewis, just a junior there, the white from West Effort, takes on Sullivan, who's also a junior. Two pretty identical records. Sullivan 9-9 in the red, and Lewis 10-11. Pretty close. They're 6th and 5th seed in this tournament, and there you look at Lewis trying to get out. Not enough mat space. He did stand up. He's got to cut back and try to keep Sullivan from pushing him out of bounds there.
Of course, West Effort coached by Tim Narcissi and assistant Vince Slayton, Paulsboro, with Paul Marina in the corner, along with Bill Sarasinski. They're 40-pounder. I don't know where Paulsboro assistant is, but anyway. 2-0 lead for Andrew Lewis. Came into the tournament under 500, currently under 500, and has a chance of going to Absegami.
Here's where he's got to cut back and get away. That's it right there.
3-0 lead.
Sullivan really working Lewis's head. Trying to set up a move. Sometimes if you pull the wrestler's head down, they'll snap up and expose the legs a little more so that you can get in. And that's why you'll see the guys banging on, pulling their heads down, pushing, tapping. You see Sullivan in on a nice double, but Lewis able to wiggle out of that one.
A minute to wrestle, so the takedown for Lewis in the first period, the escape in the second. He has the 3-0 lead. Of course, Paulsboro's already clinched the team championship. Surprise, surprise.
Nice single leg back trip by Lewis, and he gets another 2 points there. He goes up 5-0 with 40 seconds left in the second period. We're at 152 pounds here at Gloucester County College. Nick Mitchell with John Mondelli. Always one of my favorite times of the year, the district wrestling tournament.
Nick, treat the work with you. Lewis says Sullivan in trouble here now. We're going to get some back points.
Sullivan's going to get 3 back points here. I mean, Lewis is going to get 3 back points here as he works for a fall. And the West Effort fans are on their feet. Not quite enough time, but he does get the 3 back, and he goes up 8-0 as we head into the third period. And it looks like Sullivan is looking over to Coach Marina for advice. Coach Marina says, "What do you want?" Sullivan says, "I want top."
Wow.
Maybe he thinks he can lock Lewis up in the cradle, the great equalizer, and put him on his back, because that's what he's going to have to do here with 2 minutes left.
Go to the other mat. We have a pin. 160 pounds. Scott Larson of Pittman with a pin of Dave Bruno of Clayton.
Consolation, Jordan Smith of Gateway, Tommy Reeser.
So Larson advances.
Larson is a sophomore. He was the number 2 seed in this tournament. He got upset by the number 3 seed. He comes back, wins in the consies, and ends up going. Here we are back in the Sullivan match. You can see Sullivan's down by a lot here. He's down by 8, chooses the top position. he's going to have to turn Lewis, and Lewis is going to have to start moving, because one thing he doesn't want to do is get caught on his back here with an 8-0 lead.
Now it's 9-0 on the escape.
Good job for Lewis. He gets up and keeps moving. Coach Narcissi's telling him to keep his elbows in. Don't get caught on a pancake or
whatever those other moves you caught it last year.
a gun smoke.
Yeah, you gun smoked them. You had a lot of nice terms last year. I like them. I studied that match the other day in preparation of working with you.
There was a couple other ones I had, but I'm not allowed to use them.
Nah. 1 minute left, third period. All Lewis, Andrew Lewis with the 9-0 lead. It's a long season for the West Deptford wrestling team this year, but they had one star that we're going to see later tonight, C.J. Marina. Nick, you talk about a pinning machine.
Power, man. I saw him in the semis today. That's all I could think of was power. Leverage, strength, power, you name it, he's got it. He's on a mission.
Andrew Lewis is on a mission right here. It's now 11-0.
20 seconds in the match. All Lewis has to do here is not get pinned.
$18 seconds left. And it looks like Andrew Lewis will advance with an 11-0 win over Christian Sullivan of Paulsboro.
Now wrestling on mat number 2.
So now we'll go to the other mat, 189 pounds, Jordan Speth, Tom Greaser.
Speth, a junior from Gateway there in the blue. He was the 5th seed in this tournament. He's 14-11, as you can see him trying to spin around right there against Greaser. Greaser from Pittman is only a sophomore. He was the 3rd seed. He has a 13-13 record. And right now we're locked up at 3. Right now it comes down to who wants it, who wants to go, who wants to move on to Absegami High School for the regional tournament.
Right, and the other match going on right now, Nate Dawson and DeJuan Collins. And Collins was the kid who was a district champ last year, huh, Nick?
Oh yeah, not only district champ, he was the most outstanding wrestler.
Yeah, how many times you see that? Outstanding wrestler 1 year, and then you're fighting for your life to continue.
And Dawson's no pushover either to get through here. He had, by the way, talking about Marina, Dawson gave him a little bit of a scare today. He had Marina on his back in the semifinals just for about maybe 10 seconds. But it was a scare. And on that other mat there, you got Collins there. You see him from Deptford on top. He's got Dawson in big trouble. He went in on a double leg takedown, and I know Dawson, and he gets the pin. Dawson was injured against C.J. Marina a little bit, and I don't think he ever really recovered from wrestling Marina, but you got to give credit. There's Collins. He didn't give up. He said, you know, I lost, and I'm not going to give up. I'm going to hang in there, win this match, and go on to the regions.
So he advances, and we'll go back to the other match at 189, where it's 3-3 with 1:30 left in the second period. Speth of Gateway coming in with that 14-11 record on top.
Still tie match here.
Speth had to wrestle Silvestro of Gateway, and that was a tech fall. 16-1, went 4 minutes. Greaser losing to Nick D'Alessandro of Gloucester Catholic, 17-12.
Greaser gets the escape, so he goes up 4-3.
Double leg right to his back. Yeah.
Nice stand up. Cut back. once you get up to these heavyweights, John, you see a lot of pushing around, and then
I've seen that more and more from the lighter weights also now. I don't know why. You see a lot of the upper body, the pushing around, things like that. But yeah, definitely when you get to the upper weights. But right here, it's 4-3 for Tommy Greaser of Pittman, and he's trying for a takedown right on the line. Does he? He got it. So it's now 6-3.
Well, what happens, a lot of times you want to try to get the other wrestlers' momentum. So by pushing into them, they push back at you, and you can get their momentum, and it doesn't take as much strength if you just get down low and get in there on the legs. It's almost like the wrestler falls right over you, so you're using their pressure.
Well, each wrestler, I'm sure every individual wrestler has his own move, what he's more comfortable with. Like for you, for example, what was your patented move? I mean, what was your move? What did you like?
I like the duck under.
Okay.
Yeah, but I used to get the person's momentum because I wasn't one of the strongest. A lot of the kids I wrestled were a little stronger than me, so I would use their strength to my advantage by pushing, giving them a little bit of push, and then if they would push back at you, then you could sneak underneath, and they would almost fall over you. So it is a lot of momentum and using your leverage, and like you said, everybody has their own style, and as you wrestle, you get the experience. You know, right now, Greaser's only a sophomore there in the blue, and Speth, he's the junior, he's the one with a little more experience, but Greaser's up right now, 6'4".
And it looks like we're going to head into the third period with a 6-4 lead for Tommy Greaser of Pittman. Greaser coming in the number 3 seed. Of course, Pittman High School advanced to the South Jersey Group 1 final before losing to Paulsboro. A match that I went to just to see, how competitive Pittman could be, but 58-3, it wasn't very competitive. At Paulsboro won 13 out of the 14 weight classes and only wrestled one senior in the match. 6-5 now.
It just goes to show you how well those freshmen at Paulsboro and underclassmen have come along since the beginning of the year. A bright future for those kids. I mean, how many freshmen does Paulsboro have in the finals tonight, John?
You're putting me on the spot. I don't know. You have that answer? I mean, they have a few. They have Wurtenberger, they have Hamilton, they have Silvestro, and they have Hester. So they at least have 4.
4 freshmen in the finals. That's not a bad future.
Bad.
As you look here, Greaser is still up 6-5, and he's attacking. He's going after Speth. Little over a minute left.
Trying to pull that leg back in and get the takedown, but a nice job by Speth. 1 minute to wrestle.
Billy Chaffee, I think, was telling Greaser he may need, try. You're only up by 1 point, so don't, be smart. Don't force anything. Let him make the mistake. You don't need a point. He needs the point right now. So Speth's going to have to shoot, and that's exactly what he does, but he shoots and they go off. They go out of bounds.
.40 seconds. There's the shot.
Shooting again.
He had to do this. He's going to run out of space, though.
35 seconds. What Greaser doesn't want to do is get hit with a stall point, because then we got overtime.
Of course, if we have some viewers that are just watching for the first time, aren't familiar with the Gateway program, that's a co-op program. They're combined with Woodbury. Matter of fact, one of the kids we'll see in the final, Corey Wilson, is actually a student at Woodbury High School.
Well, I don't know if Greaser wants to do that.
Mono.
Yeah, if I'm Greaser, I don't lock up right now. I got a 6-5 lead. I don't want to play his game. I want to, right now, stay low and let him make the mistake. As you see, he's been hit with a warning there, Greaser has, and Oh, Speth goes in deep on a double and he goes out of bounds. Doesn't quite get it. There's only 8 seconds left. Wow, what an unbelievable ending here.
Yeah, if I'm Jordan, though, you just go right at him, though. He's got the stall warning.
Again, he's really forcing the action. Greaser is.
There's the stall. We got a tie match. 1 second, he gets called. We're going to have overtime.
Oh, boy. Wow. Well, he did go after him, John.
Sure.
He was forcing the action.
That's what he had to do. And yeah, I'm surprised you don't see that a whole lot. I mean, you know what's on the line. You have nothing to lose. You go after him. Now it's up to a takedown or then maybe going to sudden death.
Yeah, and right now, Speth has the momentum.
He's taking a shot again. There's Trakner now. He's got the leg. Or Greaser, I'm sorry.
Greaser trying to work that far ankle. Crossface.
Speth can forget the leg. He got the takedown. He wins it.
Wow.
Nice win for Gateway. 8-6 in overtime. Now we're going to go to the other mat, and this is where records can be deceiving as we go to 2:15, where it's Paulsboro's sophomore Ellis Hester, 8-12 against Rob Mars of Gloucester Catholic, who's 22-7, and it's 7-2 for Hester with 20 seconds left in the second period.
Mars, a junior. Hester's only a sophomore, as you said. And he's really putting it to Mars right now. He looks to be a little more confident than Mars does on his feet.
Result from mat number 2.
And Hester saw some spot duty on and off, filling in sometimes with Pat Byrne, who wrestled at that weight class also.
That's what they need, a little. The more experience you get as you're coming up in these big matches, some tough matches, it pays off at the end. This time of year, what they call the second season.
Third period begins. 7-2 lead for Hester. Mars starts on the bottom. Got to bring him right down. You got to watch if you're Hester. Hester. Looks like Hester's going to let him go here. Freestyle start. Yeah, there it goes.
Now it makes it a 7-3 match. Mars is going to have to get busy because he's down by 5. As you see, he's trying to be the aggressor, trying to shoot. Great job by Orville Wilson there, keeping those wrestlers from going into the stands.
Now was Hester trying to join his brother Demetrius, who was wrestling at heavyweight for Paulsboro, as making that trip to Absegami. A couple brothers going on that trip down south, maybe. 1 minute, 15 seconds left. Mars is going to have to try something, but Hester can spin around and get a takedown, trying to free up that leg. And he's got it. 9-3. Hester lost to Mike Weiss of Glassboro, who's the #1 seed. 3-2. Meanwhile, Len Beata with a 9-2 win over Mars in the other semifinal.
Hester seems to be really comfortable on his feet. And you can see Mars getting a little frustrated here. That Hester keeps letting Mars up. He's very comfortable on his feet, and it seems that he's comfortable when someone shoots on him also. As a counter, he has been doing the drop your hips on him and spin behind, which some wrestlers are very comfortable with that. They'll just wait for you to shoot on them. They won't do a whole lot of shooting. And I think that's probably what he's waiting for right now, is for Mars to get up underneath him again. Of course, Hester doesn't have to really force anything here. He's up 9-4. Mars is the one that has to shoot, but he hasn't had much luck with it yet, so he's a little reluctant to go underneath.
Well, he's down to 17 seconds. Mars taking the shot here, running out of space.
Mars needs a big move with 13 seconds here. He needs a headlock or a I would say a pancake or a waffle.
Right, something. He's trying for the ankle. I feel sorry for our handheld cameraman. He's getting yelled at by the Paulsboro crowd, standing up right in front of the crowd. They might start throwing things at him.
There you go. You see Hester as a sophomore going to the region tournament.
9-4 win. We'll take a break, come right back.
He can actually run. There's not enough time to hit him with 2 more stalling points.
Yeah, but if he runs and gets caught, then it's a time match. That's 3 points. 5 seconds.
Well, there saves himself anything there by taking a shot.
Final 5-2. Warren Wright. Can you say outstanding wrestler of the tournament, John Virtue?
He's certainly in the running. And the 8th district champion in Clayton's history.
We'll take a break. We'll come back after this timeout. And welcome back, 140 pounds, the #1 seed from Paulsboro High School, Bill Sarasinski, against the junior from Glassboro, Bill Stockel. Stockel 22-9, Sarasinski 25-9.
Bill Sarasinski, as you mentioned, the #1 seed. He won his first match in the fall over Phil Mitros of Gateway in 3:11. He beat Mark Treckner of Clayton by a major decision of 11-1 to reach the final. Bill Stockel, the #2 seed, won 8-2 against Joe Senefani of Pittman. Then he beat Jared Camlin of Clearview 5-2 to make the finals. And Treckner come back and won 8-5 over Camlin to earn 3rd place in a trip to Region 8. Sarasinski, one of the greatest turns around of a lot of wrestlers we've seen, John. Look at his record last year.
Yeah, 11-18 last year as a freshman, and this year he's 25-6.
25-6, and 2 of those losses came last Saturday in the Group 1 state championships. He met a couple of buzzsaws there, and he only had 4 losses going into that Saturday.
Of course, he lost to Steve Martell, who's a pretty good wrestler from Caldwell, one of the top in the state there. Dave Quinn from Hunterdon Central, lost in Great Bridge. Troy McDermott of Roselle Park. Brandon Miller from Virginia. So he lost a couple at Caldwell, a couple in Deep Creek.
Yep.
And then he lost the 2 on Saturday.
Yeah, he went down that Great Bridge Elite Classic, and you know, that's just a tough tournament because so many of those schools come in with, you know, 14, 15, 16 wins walking in, where the New Jersey team comes in with 3 or 4 bouts under their belts. It's a great wake-up experience.
Nothing yet. 15 seconds left in the period.
Billy Sarasinski is kind of bulldogish out there, John. He just relentless. He goes and goes and goes.
His opponent, Bill Stockel, who's a junior, 22-9 this year. 11-11 as a freshman, 22-8 last year, 22-9 this year. Finished 4th last year in the districts. Also plays soccer and on the track team. Sarasinski where he wants to be to start the 2nd period on bottom.
Of course, you can say when's the last time Glassboro had 2 district champions in 1 year, and that was
Coach, when's the last time Glassboro had 2 district champions in the same year?
10 years ago.
There you
that
go.
Mark Somm we talked about, and Mike Reeves that year, 171-pounder. So they did that. Last time they had a district champion, they had 2 in 1 year.
Of course, they have the #1 seed at 215, so looking for 3.
That they are. One of the most animated coaches in the tournament is that Coach Casaboon of Glassboro, John.
And that's Mike Bell with him now, Voge. Mike Bell, of course, was an outstanding wrestler at Paulsboro High School. Went on to play football, I believe, at Rutgers, right?
Rutgers University. Made Nikki Birch Kelly very happy. There's Sisinski trying to roll through. Stockel staying right with him.
Stall warning against Paulsboro.
Now it's against
Glassboro.
Against Glassboro. He didn't work for a pin. When you're on top, if you ride parallel, they're going to give you a little bit of breathing room, but not much. That's Tom Reynolds, the official in charge on the mat, being assisted by Michael Kane.
All right, so Arsinski trying to get two. They haven't awarded anything yet.
There's the neutral.
1-0 Sarasinski.
People may ask why the 2 points wasn't, the 1 point wasn't given before they went out of bounds. It's because Sarasinski never broke away and he had the leg, and he could very easily have taken his man down, and if he did, he would have been giving 1 and 2, and that would have been wrong. Official has to let it play out. Sarasinski gets the first point. Jarasinski slips down to the single leg. Uses the trip. Comes into a tackle. Moves up, gets the 2.
Big 2 in the final 10 seconds, Voge. Going to give up 1, though, it looks like, in the last second.
Didn't stay behind. They should have just stayed behind, break the man down. Anytime you're that late in that period, you don't want to give up that late 1 point. And that was a point with like 4 seconds to go.
Right. Stockel start on the bottom.
Third period, so here's what you want to do. You want to give up 1, not 2. So if you feel you're starting to lose him, you cut him loose. Of course, if you cut him loose, you got to take him down.
Absolutely.
Jarasinski's got to be careful, because if he rides, now see how he gets out to the side there with the arm? Picks up the ankle, steps over. Now he has to do something with that arm that he's got trapped. Once he loses it, he's got to break his man down again. But just don't want to break him down and ride him, because then you got the stall call.
Got to watch out, though, Voge. In a little bit of trouble here. A lot of trouble.
Big trouble. Oh, my. Oh, brother. Oh, my. Look at Stockel. Oh, my. Oh, brother. Sarasinski fights out of it, but that was deadly.
6-3 lead. 1:06 left.
Sarasinski got a little sloppy in that attempt to take his man to the mat. Got off balance. Stockel knew what to do.
51 seconds left.
Stockel's got to be careful. He's got a stalling call against him. Sarasinski gets a neutral.
6-4.
6-4. Got to try and spin behind. Gets a 2.
Stockel's doing the right thing. Just hold on to that leg.
Yeah,
Just a stalemate.
26 seconds to go. So Sarasinski, do or die. To the outside single. Out of bounds they go.
12 seconds.
And Stockel can just circle here. If he circles here,
injury or blood time?
Looks like a blood time. If he just circles here, he's not going to. There's not enough time left to hit him twice for stalling, so he might give up a point stalling just by circling and not attempting a takedown.
Yeah, but Voge, I don't know if you want to even. Well, I was going to say, do you want to take that chance? Because if you give up the 1 and then you're taken down at the end, you lose the match.
Well, with 12 seconds left, I think it would be highly unlikely. But stranger things have happened.
There's the backup. We'll see what happens. Sarasinski trying to tie him up. He's got to go after him. 4 seconds.
Oh my! Oh my!
Did not get it.
Oh my!
I don't think he got it, Vogue. Because I've been wrong this year in the Camden Catholic Absegami match. Got it.
Point takedown.
How do I know?
Ties it up right at the buzzer. 1 minute overtime. Here we go again, overtime. Watching the throw, he had a 2-point move if there was time left. He conferred with the assistant, Michael Kane, and 2 points were given to Sarasinski right at the buzzer. Now we're into a 1 minute overtime period. First point wins. Sarasinski's got to remember that there has been a stalling call given to Stockwell. That carries over. Stockwell reaches in. Sarasinski trying to control the head.
Stockwell doing a nice job. Sarasinski tries to spin around for the takedown. 20 seconds left.
Stalemate.
Sarasinski got the first points, right, Vogue? There's the shot.
Oh my.
He's in deep.
He's been there before though. Oh my. Oh my. Oh brother. Oh my.
Champion at 101 pounds,
Oh,
Well, Vogue, I think you got about 30% of the gym that liked that call and 70% of the gym that did not.
well, the only opinions that count were the ones on the mat.
We get ready for 145 pounds. And Jonathan Campbell of Glassboro finishing in third, defeating Drew McCorkle in a tight match.
At 135 pounds from Clayton High School.
And the final, we have Chuck Martell against Bob Tunstall. Vogue, I've seen Tunstall wrestle twice this year. Once today, he scored 15. The other time, he scored 10, 11, 12, I don't know what it was.
Well, he scored 12, got credit for 11, and lost in overtime. But today, he met the same wrestler from that infamous dual meet, and he won 15-9.
And he was down 7-0 at one time.
Yes, he was, right off the bat. He won by fall against Mike Cesarano of Gateway to start. Then he beat that Drew McCorkle 15-9 in overtime. Martell won by forfeit in his quarterfinal round. Won in a tech fall 22-7 and 450 against Jonathan Campbell. As you mentioned, Jonathan Campbell come back with a 2-1 win over Drew McCorkle for third place.
Bob Tunstall 25-4 his losses. The McCorkle won. The Kevin Agresta, who's the pinner from Williamstown, who only has 2 losses coming into tonight. Schwartz and a wrestler from Manchester.
And of course, before Lauren Wright got that district championship for Clayton, Clayton only had 7 district champions in their history. George Sanderson in 1969, Herm Gunther in 75, Bob Tunstall back-to-back in 76 and 77, Mark Fedeko in 1978, Jim Tunstall in 80, and Everett Moore in 2002. So 3 Tunstalls claim
District titles, yeah.
Champion titles of the previous 7. Now there's 8, of course. And here's another Tunstall.
And Martell, we talked about him, how good he is on his feet, has a 4-2 lead, trying for another 2, and it looks like he got it. They gave it to him, 6-2 lead. Martell, 20-5. Here's another one who was bouncing around in his weight class. Now settled in at 145, obviously. Lost in the Caldwell tournament to Dave Kiley, a brick 4-2. Lost in the Deep Creek tournament 13-6, Great Bridge Invitational. Elite Classic, yeah. Bill Smashy at Delsey lost to 10-8. He wrestled at 152 in that match. Kevin Shelley, who was undefeated at the time from Jackson, 6-4. And Phil Black, he lost to at 152 also. Phil Black at Absegami, that was 5-1.
Yeah, that was
And,
the one.
4 to 5 points for penalty points. And look out, he's setting this big
Oh,
move up
my.
here, Vogt.
Oh my, he's got that locked up tight. But Tunstall is a savvy sophomore. He battles out of it. Yeah, as you were mentioning, that dual meet loss to Phil Black of Absegami, 5-1 final. 4 of the points were penalty points for Martell getting called for stalling. So he's gotten in better wrestling shape, and we've said this before on the broadcast that he's got an awful lot of talent. We know it, the coaches know it. We're just wondering when Martell will discover it.
Well, there's the escape. It's now 8-4, and now another takedown right to his back.
Oh my.
Tunstall doing a nice job so far to fight off. It's 10-4.
Martell with 65 career wins as a junior. Oh my. Oh brother. Great fight by Tunstall. Martell turns him in.
And he'll run out of time. 3 back points, 13. I think he had like 12 points in the first period of his match earlier today.
Yes.
And
And that's
13 in the first period here.
Yeah, that was 22-7, that tech fall. I mean, he's a machine when he gets motoring out there.
You know, that Absegami match, I think I mentioned this to you, Vogt, when he wrestled Phil Black. In the third period, when he had to wrestle or get disqualified for too many stall calls, I mean, he held his own.
Yes.
And Phil Black's a kid we talk about Martell being a takedown machine. Ask Randy Moore about Phil Black.
Yes.
Caution against Paulsboro. Of course, Martell finished in third as a freshman, placed second last year. Tunstall last year 16-8 as a freshman. Martell was 19-5 as a freshman, 26 wins as a sophomore, has 20 so far this year. He leads 14-4.
And Martell's loss last year was 10-9 to Chris Thomas of Pittman, who entered that match with a 26-1 record and beat Martell 10-9.
Another takedown, 16-4. Take a look at Dean Duca standing up, giving Martell some instructions. Paul Marina next to him. And it looks like the trainer from Paulsboro over there. Of course, Bill Evans from the Gloucester County Times here tonight covering the districts. Bill does a great job covering wrestling. 16-5. Another two, 18-5. 51 seconds left here in the second. .51 seconds left, 18-5, second period. Chuck Martell looking for his first district title, lets him go, 18-6.
It's a 12-point lead, so a 4-point move here. We give him a tech fall. Here it comes.
Might be more than a tech fall here, though,
Oh my! Oh my! Now Tunstall's fighting for his life, not to get pinned. Going to get out of bounds, I think.
And that'll be
That'll be it.
Should be 23-6. Final score: Chuck Martell, Paulsboro with their 5th district champion. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Art Larson.
And welcome back, Gloucester County College, the 152-pound championship. Eric Larson of Pittman, 26-2. He's a senior going up against Dan Cliver, a 25-2, a senior from Clayton.
Dan Cliver advanced as the number 2 seed with a 3-12 pin over Steve Santone of Clearview. Won 6-0 over Andrew Lewis of West Deptford in the semifinals. Eric Larson, a number 1 seed. A 3:52 fall over Steve Crawford of Glassboro in the quarterfinals. A 1:45 fall over Christian Sullivan of Paulsboro in the semifinals. And Andrew Lewis had a major decision, 11-0 over Christian Sullivan to advance to the regionals.
You get the 2 there for Larson.
And Larson's having a great year, right?
Yeah,
John?
Larson, though, they're both one's 25-2, one's 26-2. Larson's 26-2, lost to Smashy of Delsey, and his other loss, he moved up to 160 in that South Jersey Group final to wrestle Trevor Suter. Suter did pin him in that match. For Cliver, his loss, Eric Larson, 4-3. And we did that match, Voge. I think Cliver was up 3-0 heading into the third period. And the other loss is, which has a Pittman connection, Tommy Howe. His other loss was to Cody Hamra of Bishop Bar. And the connection with Pittman is that's who Karis Cooper beat to win his state title last year.
Cody Hamra.
Cliver won't have a lead, by the way, won't have a 3-0 lead going into the third period. This match, he's down 2-0 right now.
He's going to have to fight for his life right now to keep from getting pinned. He's very, very close. Turns away. Of course, the program book had 24-1 coming into the tournament, but he actually was 24-2, right, John?
According to the sheets here.
Yes. Eric Larson going after the 30th district championship in Pittman history.
More back points here, Vogue.
Oh, my. Man on a mission. Have a lot of them in this district. More back points, 8-0 lead.
You know, you talked about Thomas winning the district title last year, but we all remember the 1-2 punch with Mercado and Cooper.
Yes.
145-pound medal winners to the Woods area.
8-0 as we start period number 2. We start neutral.
Yes, 3 district champions for Pittman last year. Jared Mercado, who's now at Northwestern. Chris Thomas at 135 pounds, and Karis Cooper at 145 pounds. Last I heard, Karis Cooper was off to junior college somewhere, but I haven't heard any word recently on how he's doing. Jared Mercado was hurt earlier in the year, and he's redshirting this year, but he was in a tournament last week at the Edinburgh Open for, I guess, JV wrestlers or unattached wrestlers. He finished 3rd. Tom Curl entered that. He's a transfer to Lehigh this year. He entered that, and he was 4th in the heavyweight division.
Larson trying for the takedown. Not going to give it to him. Yeah, I know that, Vogue, because I read the Courier Post on Saturday. You have your little notes column, the college wrestling scene.
So you spotted that?
It was up in my head. I was all ready to bring it up. Of course, we're waiting on word, because as we speak, hopefully Jimmy Rollins is in the final of the Nationals.
Jimmy Rollins did not make the finals,
Did
John.
not, huh, Vogue?
No, they ended up with 1 6th place and 2 7th places. Jimmy Rollins must have lost in the semifinals, and he must have lost his next 2 because he finished 6th. An All-American in 6th place. Vince Lipsy, who wrestled in this tournament last year for Deptford, finished 7th in his weight class, and the heavyweight from Whitehall, Pennsylvania, Joe Atiyah, finished 7th. So Gloucester County College with 3 All-Americans, but no national champions.
And Rollins was, what, 2 wins away from being
a national champion.
An undefeated wrestler in his history here.
Undefeated wrestler in Gloucester County College history among junior college matches, yes.
Great career nonetheless. I mean, 2-time All-American, national champion, only losing, what, 2 or 3 matches?
Well, must have lost 3 matches today because he was into the semifinals, so he must have lost that one and the next 2 in the wrestlebacks. But that happens, you know, especially with the limited number of matches he had this year. He I think it was only 9-0 heading out for the Nationals. That's a pretty tough road to hoe.
10 seconds left in the second period. It's
all
Eric
Larson.
Larson, yeah. 8-0 lead.
Very impressive.
And Larson comes in, Vogt, by the way, 97 wins, so he can pick up number 98 here, and then he won't wrestle again, I guess, until Friday night.
Next Friday night, but he'll wrestle in the quarterfinals at Apsagami, and if he loses that one, he'll go into the wrestlebacks and can continue to wrestle, so it's not one and done.
.137 to wrestle. Still 8-0.
Of course, we talked.
Go ahead, Vogt.
Well, I was going to say, I just saw Jeff Hamilton walk by with a great big hot dog, but of course he just took one bite of it and gave the rest to his father, Jeff, former 4-time district champion for Paulsboro. We had mentioned the offspring of Marvin Hamilton. Preston Hamilton was a district champion.
There's the reversal, now 10-0.
Larson looks very, very strong, John. And it's interesting because we saw him in that match against Suter, and Suter took him down, and then Larson momentarily had Suter in jeopardy, turning him towards his back. Of course, Suter used his expertise just to roll right through it and come up, and he pinned Larson, and he helped him up after pinning him, told him not to worry about it. He was out of his weight class.
Driver's going to get at least one. There it is. It's now 10-1. Try and spin around and get the takedown. And he gets it, 10-3. Might be Vogt a little late for this, though.
Yes. And he got too deep a hole right off the bat. Had to come back too far. Now Larson can just kind of cruise out there right now.
And career win number 98 for Eric Larson. So he finished second as a freshman, third as a sophomore, fourth last year, and he's a district champ. His plans next year, Vogt, well, I guess this year, to go to NYU, so picks up a big win, and next few months are going to be exciting for him.
The medal winners at 145 pounds.
And that's Pittman's first champion tonight.
In third place,
And as we mentioned earlier, the 30th in their history.
The runner-up,
We get ready for 160 pounds.
Bob Tunstall.
And we see the wrestlers getting their awards
29 champion at 145
at 145 pounds. There's Chuck Martell getting his award. Scott Larson.
That's the president of the Board of Education, Wayne Wirtz, who's presenting those awards.
All right, Scott Larson of Pittman, by the way, finished third at 160. And here we have a couple wrestlers. Mark Clement, Vogt, who started his career, or started actually even the season at Paulsboro this year, going up against Trevor Suter of Paulsboro. Yeah. Suter's 29-0. Clement 17-8. I think he went to.
Oh my!
Well, we're not going to have much time to talk, are we, Vogt?
No. Well, maybe not. Anyway, Mark Clement started the year at Paulsboro, couldn't break the lineup there, transferred to Deptford, and here he is in the district final. But Trevor Suter can't be denied. 117 wins, 20 losses in his career, a 4-time District 29 finalist, second as a freshman, first the last 3 years, twice third in Region 8. He's on a mission. He knows what he's doing.
152-pound medal winners, please report to the awards area.
He's not letting go of that move, is he, Vogt?
No. And we mentioned in 1982, his father, Fred, was a district champion. a lot of Suitor champions over the years, uncles and cousins.
And we're going to have a few more weight classes, so we're not going to have time to mention them all. But I think his Uncle Matt might be here tonight. I think I saw him.
Did you?
I believe.
Now a chiropractor. Oh, so is Jason, I believe. Jason, I think, down in North Carolina. Matt up in the Lehigh Valley area. Here's Suitor. He knows what he wants to do. He's barring that arm.
Of course, Clement, a matter of fact, I think was in Paulsboro one day, and like the same week he was wrestling against Paulsboro.
It happened quick.
Of course, Suitor was first in the districts the last 2 years, second as a freshman. 2 third-place finishes his sophomore and junior years in Region 8. 117 career wins, Votes.
Moving right up on that Paulsboro list. He's in the top 10 already, moving up with every win.
Chris Clement's a junior, Suitor a senior, plans to wrestle in college. Clement defers and Suitor starts neutral.
Comfortable on his feet.
Another takedown, 7-0.
Suitor after the 6th Paulsboro District Championship. Of course, they clinched the team title, I think, before the consolation matches started, John. Oh, my, look at this.
That could be it right
brother.
there.
Oh, my. Oh, my. What? Where's their space? .251.
Number 118 for Trevor Suitor, his 3rd District 29 title. Paulsboro's 6th vote. And we'll take a break. 171's up next. Stay tuned. And we're back at Gloucester County College, 171 pounds. Dan Zander, a junior of Gateway, 25-3, going up against the number 1 seed, CJ Marina from West Deptford, 27-0.
And I think there's been a lot of anticipation of this match. This is the highlight match of District 29. CJ Marina, 25-0, entering the tournament. A 32-second pin against Leon Sanders of Clayton in the first round. A 5:33 pin over Nate Dawson of Paulsboro in the semifinals. Dan Zander, the number 3 seed, a 118 fall over Steve Lipsky of Gloucester Catholic, and then an exciting 15-8 win over DeJuan Collins of Deptford, the returning district champion. DeJuan Collins came back with a first-minute pin over Nate Dawson to claim 3rd place in this tournament.
Well, Vogue, a quick takedown for Zander. Zander only has 3 losses, and one was, I think Marina pinned him in the first period. In their dual meet, also lost to Brian Ahern of Audubon and Butler from Point Pleasant Beach, 10-8. 68 wins in his career. He's just a junior.
And of course, as you've mentioned, CJ does not have any losses this year, so it was billed as a great match. Of course, a lot of people were anticipating a Marina Collins rematch. That didn't materialize when Dan Zander bettered him 15-8 in the semifinals. Dan Zander, of course, the younger brother of the Zander that's at George Mason University, starting as a 197-pound freshman. Oh my. Zander knows exactly what he has to do. A question will be this, John. How many times has Marina gone the distance?
You know what they might have out here? Tech Falls. Let's see, pins 21, Tech Falls 1, majors 3. 3 times.
3 times he's going the distance, and a lot of people felt that maybe that's a deterrent when you get to this level, not having gone 6 minutes very often. Has a lot of pins. Tech Falls, 3 majors. It's only 3 times he's had to go the distance.
5-0 lead Xander, first period.
The thing that was impressive about CJ earlier this year, when we saw him, John, he never seemed to panic out there.
And he's strong. There's the escape. It's now 5-1.
And putting the pressure on. Of course, he played on that undefeated West Deptford Eagles football team this year that won the group championship.
CJ planning to go, by the way, to Lycoming after graduation.
Nice school. He could probably play football or wrestle there. Don't know what his desires are, but he could compete in either sport at Lycoming. But right now, he's got an uphill battle. He's down 5-1 to Xander.
Xander finished second in the districts last year. CJ Marina finished second his sophomore year.
Of course, Hans Van Brill is the head coach of Gateway, former two-time district champion there. Tim Narcissi, the head coach at West Deptford, and he's a former district champion at West Deptford. Oh my, oh my, oh brother. Headlock takedown, oh my. Marina is in jeopardy. Oh brother, oh my. Oh brother, oh my.
Plenty of time, Voge, 119.
Oh my. There's an outstanding wrestler's performance.
Yep.
If he can hang on, great job by Marina fighting off that pin.
Now 8-3.
He has a lot of uphill work to do now.
10-3, I should say.
10-3. Got a 2 and a 3 on that move.
I'll tell you what impressed me about Xander, he was just tenacious today. I mean, he just, even with the lead, he could stay away from Collins, not get caught. He just kept going in,
After him
shooting low, getting those takedowns, going right after the leg.
Absolutely correct. You know, we've been saying that CJ Marina's been on a mission this year. After last year, he was the number 3 seed. He got pinned by DeJuan Collins in the quarterfinals last year. Had to be a terribly disappointing performance for him. Oh my, look at Xander.
We might have another point here, huh?
Oh, he's coming out. He's got an escape.
Now
They're
it's
neutral.
12-3.
They're neutral, and he's going upper body. There's Tom Curl. Red shirt at Lehigh this year. Oh my, oh my.
Talk about taking those shots
Oh,
low.
brother.
14-3.
Xander ever on a mission himself.
You know, Voach, talking to some of the Gateway people, they said that was the key. Don't go in and lock up high.
Right.
Shoot.
14-3 lead entering the third period. Xander, only a junior. Second in the district last year. Marina's second in the district 2 years ago. You see him being tended to in the corner. That red shirt that you were talking about earlier, John, is the trainer full-time at Paulsboro now, Chuck Romeo, former Bishop Eustis graduate. Played football for Clyde Folsom there, John.
Oh, did he?
At Bishop Eustis. Went to Gettysburg.
Injury time, so we see Dan Xander 25-3 and putting on a show, Voach. 19-8 as a freshman, 24-4 last year, 25-3 this year. And of course, Vince Jones awaits both of these guys.
Oh yeah.
At Absegam.
Vince Jones, arguably the best 171-pounder in the state. Looks like Xander's older brother has been coming home and giving him a few tips.
Yeah, Harry Xander on a nice little tournament last year at what, 189?
Yeah, quite an accomplishment being a freshman starter at George Mason at 197 pounds. Especially with more wins than losses this year. Wrestled about almost 30 times so far. Oh my. Look at that hip action, John. If that's inbounds, he's got him flattened on his back again. Marina looks a little puzzled now by everything I'm trying, and everything that's worked so far this year is not working now. Of course, when they met before, it was a first period fall, right?
Yes, it was. Of course, Marina's a pinner, so I'm sure Xander's got that in the back of his mind. You know, if he gets in trouble, what he doesn't want to do or what he does want to do.
Yep. Look at this, coming out again. Oh my.
16-3.
Basic switch. Wow. 16-3 lead. Who would have ever thought, Harry?
I don't know. not me, okay? Not me.
Oh my, Xander just doing whatever he wants to do. Look at this. Oh my. Oh brother. Oh my.
7 with 34 seconds left. How about that?
Wow.
What about that? Hey, can you say outstanding wrestler? I'm not going to say that anymore. How about that? Gateway 2nd district champion tonight.
Wow.
Medal winners at one.
It was either going to be a tech fall or a pin, Vogue, at that point.
Yes.
In 3rd place.
Wow.
Clifton High School.
Have to go back to 1990 to find out the last time when Gateway had 2 district champions, Steve Miller at 125 pounds and Dan Nate at heavyweight.
And Steve Miller, man, great musician, Vogue. 189. Alex Silvestro of Paulsboro, a freshman, 26-4. Going up against the junior Nick D'Alessandro of Gloucester Catholic. D'Alessandro 24-5. D'Alessandro 19-9 as a freshman, 22-7 as a sophomore, 24-5 as a junior.
For the 189-pound championship.
Sylvester just a freshman, he's 26-4 this year.
That place is still buzzing, John, after that last match. Still buzzing. Not only does Xander knock off an undefeated wrestler who pinned him in the first period earlier this year, but he demolished him.
Yeah, blood time. We have a little blood time for Nick D'Alessandro. By the way, D'Alessandro has 5 losses. He did lose to C.J. Marina, Jones of Pennsville, Hales, who's undefeated of Overbrook, and there we see the Paulsboro trainer vote. Vasquez of Pennsauken and lost to a wrestler from mainland. Sylvester just 4 losses. Patrick Bond from Great Bridge, who's ranked number 3 in the country at his weight class. And he lost to a wrestler from Randolph in the Caldwell tournament. And Ryan Mann from Absegam, he beat him 6-4. And he lost to Nichols of Hanover Park 7-6. And Nichols was a region place winner last year. So some quality losses.
Oh yeah, they're all quality losses. I mean, this is a quality individual, Alex Silvestro. He's not your ordinary freshman. Of course, you can say that about several Paulsboro wrestlers this year. They're not your ordinary freshmen, but Alex Silvestro had a good football season too. He was very active in football, and he's a starter here at a very difficult weight for a freshman. Of course, the guy following him 2 weeks later is a freshman, Demetrius Hester.
Well, both wrestlers out there played football this year.
There's a lot of people have a lot of bright hopes for Alex Silvestro, and he's not letting anybody down.
D'Alessandro finished 3rd last year in the districts.
And not a bad record himself coming in, as you mentioned, 24-5. Alex Silvestro, the number 1 seed. He pinned Joe Fassel of Clayton in 105 in his quarterfinal. He tech-falled Jordan Spaeth of Gateway 16-1 in 4 minutes in his semifinal. D'Alessandro advanced. He's the number 2 seed with a 437 pin over Matt Sees of Glassboro, then a 17-6 major decision over Tommy Greiser of Pittman, and Spaeth got the nod to go to Absegami with an 8-6 overtime win over Tommy Greiser.
1:18 to wrestle. First period, we're scoreless.
They call that 50-50, John?
No, they did not. I never heard it.
Champions, please stay dressed and at least your warm-up.
Silvestro in on the shot.
All champions, please stay dressed.
You see the strength there of D'Alessandro, though, Voch.
Of course, it's a moot point because they never win that thing anyway.
No.
All champions, stay dressed in your warm-up.
Steve Anashevsky on the public address system asking the wrestlers to stay dressed for their group picture, the District 29 champions, who will advance to Absegami High School in Region 8.
You know, D'Alessandro's a product of the Glassboro Midget program, Voch.
Really?
He's from Glassboro.
Wow. He would have fit right in nice with the Bulldogs this year. Well, Paulsboro with 6 district champions. Gateway now has the next most champions with 2.
Oh, the interesting thing is, Voge, that I think every school but Clearview had somebody into the finals today.
That were the only school that didn't have a finalist. Of course, Gloucester Catholic, I know you're going to ask me how many district champions they've had in their history.
Actually, I'm going to bring up a Gloucester Catholic question to you.
Okay.
Of course, Gloucester Catholic, when I first started covering wrestling, I think they were in District 29. Then they moved. And then when Kingsway, wasn't Kingsway in this district at one time? I do believe for some, I think so.
Gloucester Catholic has had 1 district champion in their history, 1983, with Carl Parker at 188 pounds.
That's it, huh?
That's it. 1 district champion.
Wow. I find that hard to believe, Harry. How about that? Well, scoreless first period.
More blood time. As you say, Chuck Cormeo, the trainer from Paulsboro, and I bring that up because he was a classmate of my son's at Gettysburg. Chuck went to Bishop Eustace High School and played football for Clyde Folsom.
Way back, Clyde was there, huh? Doing a great job at West Deptford now.
Super job.
Of course, Vogue, next week, where are we going to be? Absegami. And what a busy weekend for me. I'll be at Absegami on Saturday.
Right.
To Palestra covering college wrestling. Doing my best imitation of John Vochling. EIWAs, right?
Yes, EIWAs are next Saturday and Sunday.
Right, and we'll be doing the finals on C&8. So I think I'm like the stat man or something over there for them that day.
That's good.
Then the following week, the state finals, we'll have some camera people there. You know some of those people, Voch?
I believe is that CJ's mom?
No, it's not.
No? Who was that?
No, CJ's mom's just walking back to her seat right there. But
okay.
She was videotaping the match. She just got done talking to CJ. That's how I know that.
All right.
That's facing the crowd, Vogue.
Facing the crowd. Lots of faces in the crowd here tonight.
Jam-packed. Of course, our season ends. We won't be doing the state finals. We'll have highlights of that. And, of course, our wrestling season ends, Vogue, with the Region 7-8 All-Stars against Delaware.
Down at St. Mark's High School the Tuesday after our state tournament.
You know, one of my off-time... Yeah, man, D'Alessandro's taped up all over the place, Vogue. What's the time on it? Blood time?
Blood time is 5 minutes. If they can't get it curtailed after 5 minutes, the wrestler that's not bleeding wins.
Silvestro on top to start the second. You know, last week I was watching this week I was watching the District 29 tournament from last year. What a wild tournament that was. We had everything. We had some state champions. We had coaches yelling at coaches. We had a ref get a cut in the nose.
Plenty of excitement.
Silvestro on the top. He's got to try and work for the pin. And there's the escape for D'Alessandro, and he takes the 1-0 lead, so he gets that all-important first point.
There's a takedown
for Silvestro.
Tenacious is what that's called.
And I look at Silvestro's losses, and I think if there's one match he could have over, he probably went that Absagami match.
Well, I think the Absagami match, and I think the match he had last Saturday in the group.
Sure.
That was a winnable match, and he got beat by a better wrestler that day. I think the only wrestler that's really dominated him this year was Patrick Bond of Great Bridge.
And he dominates a lot of people.
A lot.
D'Alessandro trying to get out. Looks like he'll get the one. No, he does not.
Never broke away. He threw the overhook in. Had he could turn around and face Silvestro, he would have got the one. Silvestro hugged his body pretty tight as they were going out of bounds. But D'Alessandro, being a junior with 24 wins this year, 65 wins in his career, that's a lot of varsity experience he's throwing at the freshman from Paulsboro.
Very impressed by Silvestro, coach. I mean, and I talked to some of the football people, man, they love him as defensive end and tight end too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, if you have a passing game next year, look out for him coming around the end.
Yes.
There's the escape. We're tied at 2. 40 seconds left in the second.
Yeah, Silvestro a little sluggish that time on top. Didn't move quickly as quickly as he should. He didn't get up on his toes, so therefore he gives up the escape.
Well, he's taking the shot here. Look out.
Our poor cameraman almost had a wrestler in his lap.
Our cameraman, his name, Boach, and I do not lie, Mitch Miller.
Oh, that's right. We had Mitch Miller before.
Yes, Mitch Miller is a senior at Gloucester Catholic High School, getting an early start on his career. There's a stall warning. I was waiting for that, Boach.
Yeah.
You can see the blood all over the tape in front of D'Alessandro.
Hey, pretty soon they're going to, now they really should stop that when the blood is visible like that. Oh my.
Another takedown, big takedown too at the buzzer.
Oh my, oh my.
Not enough time, Boach.
Oh, brother.
Not enough time. He gets the takedown now when we go to the third period. And with D'Alessandro, I guess starting, or Silvestro starting on the bottom, big takedown. He has that 2-point lead. He can get out.
Well, that blood is visible like that, though. They really should stop that and clean that up.
Oh, there's 2 officials there, Vogue.
I know.
And as you say, who's making the call? The officials. Their call counts. They don't want to stop it. I guess they're not going to stop it. And that's got to be uncomfortable for D'Alessandro.
Oh,
breathing.
I imagine it is.
There's the
Gives
escape.
the intentional escape, and if you let the guy go,
yeah, you better take him down, especially when you're down by 3 points. 5-2. It's 4-2. There it is. 5-2 now.
oh my.
D'Alessandro.
Oh my.
Silvestro, what a job by Silvestro to fight this takedown attempt off, but is he going to fight it off anymore? He fights it off, but he's in trouble now.
Oh my!
Peterson.
Oh, brother! Oh, he reached back for the head. If he got the head, he would have had the pin. He's got the half driving through. Oh my! Oh, brother!
There it is.
Oh, brother!
Alex Silvestro. What's that, Boach?
4:48.
Champion at 189, Alex Silvestro from Paulsboro.
Is that the third or fourth freshman to win tonight for Paulsboro? Losing track.
The medalist at 171.
Take a break. We'll be right back. 2:15, Vogue. We're getting down to the end. Len Beato, 22-6. He's a senior. from Pittman, and Mike Weiss from Glassboro Senior, the number 1 seed, 23-7.
Mike Weiss, a Glassboro wrestler, the number 1 seed, had a 26-second pin against Chris Urban of Deptford. Then he had a 3-2 win over Ellis Hester of Paulsboro in a surprisingly close match. Len Beato, the number 2 seed, 9-1 over Steve Ferguson of Clayton to open up. Then he beat Rob Mars of Gloucester Catholic 9-2. Ellis Hester come back and beat Rob Mars 9-4 to earn 3rd place.
Yeah, Voj, I was talking to Nick Mitchell about that, how deceiving records can be, because Mars came into that match with a 22-7 record.
Yes.
Hester 8-12, and he's going to be going to Absegami. And nice job by Hester joining his brother and how many teammates? A lot of teammates at Absegami next week. Len Beato 22-6, lost to Tracy from Audubon. Silvestro from Paulsboro, I think that was a pin. That was in the South Jersey Group 1 final. A couple of his losses. He also lost to Cage from Glassboro. Of course, Cage finished 3rd at heavyweight. Mike Weiss, he also lost to Tracy from Audubon, 8-6. Sharp from Millville, Jackson from Pennsville, and Jackson coming into tonight was unbeaten. Jacoby from Egg Harbor Township and Myers, no, I'm sorry, get it? Jacoby and Myers.
Yes.
Joking. Pritchard from Middle Township. By the way, Jackson and Josh Rhodes, one of the premier matches tonight, along with Favorito and Barber in District 31. Scoreless first period. Mike Weiss on that football team. Len Beato, football and golf, and he'll be going to LaSalle University next year. LaSalle University, right by that Central High, Voj.
Yes. I wonder if he'll play football there. LaSalle has quite a few South Jersey players on their team. As you see the escape.
Weiss with the 1-0 lead. You know, I know you're not allowed to smoke in here, but it sure smells like cigarettes in here, Voj.
It does.
Yeah.
I hope that's not our equipment burning up.
It's killing me.
Yeah.
I said I hope the equipment's not burning up, and our director smartly says, yeah, it's made of tobacco.
Voj, it's that sensitive nose I have. Absolutely. Just the escape for Weiss so far. We wrestled 3 minutes. There's a new rule I want to adapt, by the way, in wrestling. You know, the first guy that scores, they usually get the option in the overtime.
Right.
However, if there's a wrestler with the first takedown, if there's a takedown in the match and he has the first takedown, that should be the first criteria. If there are no takedowns, then it should go to the first point. Because that's just a flip of a coin, Voj. And that's a rotten way to lose a match. What do you think?
Well, I think they're always open to suggestion. I think you ought to write it up and submit it.
You're Mr. Wrestling. I figure I'll get that baby passed just by going to you.
Well, we're lulling our director to sleep with this kind of wrestling anyway. We don't want to make it any longer than we have
There's a double stall. Which reminds me, Voj, in your book, you got to have this. Several years ago when we had 2 heavyweights disqualified, which was a year where there was no heavyweight champion in Gloucester County.
That's right.
Do you remember the year, Voj? You're going to look that up. That had to be the 80s or early 90s. I'm going to say.
I know it was Woodbury and Kingsway.
Right. Voj has Woodbury, Kingsway. Nick Mitchell has that right. Mark Kane, I believe, from Kingsway. Voj looks that up. We start the 3rd. Weiss on top. And Beato's in a little trouble. Weiss can lock this up.
Oh, my.
Stalemate. Nice job by Beato. 1-0 lead for Weiss.
Tie match.
Gloucester with a couple of their assistants in the corner for this match. Coach Kosovoom looking on from the side this time. Dan Zander walking by, gets a great ovation from the Gateway faithful. And he should.
He deserves it.
Yeah, and
You're probably looking at maybe the outstanding wrestler recipient there.
well, Vogue, like I said before the evening started, if Paul Marina didn't get Coach of the Year, there should be an investigation. Well, there should be an investigation if Zander doesn't get the outstanding wrestler, with Wright finishing second.
I agree.
1-1, Beato one on the leg. This is all the makings of overtime, Voach, and it could go down to that
Oh, you just
30-second ride out.
You would love an overtime match.
Pittman has a champ already. Glassboro has a champ. So one of these two schools will join Gateway with two champions.
With multiple champions.
7 seconds. And we're going to have overtime, Vogue. No one's come close to a takedown. Couldn't find that answer, huh?
Not yet.
That's okay. Pressure.
We got double stall warnings before, right?
Yep. So for that answer, by the way, tune into the High School Wrestling Report Wednesday, 7:30 to 11 to 8:30 and 11:30. Again, Vogue would like 4 hours. I won't.
Snap it down. Snap.
There's Beato with the shot.
If he keeps taking the shot, of course, you very rarely see a stall call in overtime when they both have one.
Okay, Vogue. Now, everybody, here we go. What happens if they're both hit with the stall again? Is it what arm goes up first?
Now they both get it, and then I think, well, they used to take him right down to the mat at that point.
There you go. There it is.
Double stall.
We're going to find out right here. Top bottom, that's what's going to happen. It's right down to the bottom.
First point.
So 2-2. It's his choice, 30 seconds.
Double stall call with 24 seconds left in the first 1 minute overtime period. They each get 1 point, so it should be 2-2. 2-2.
Well, they'll change that. It's obviously not 2-1, or the match would be over.
There you go, 2-2.
There
now
it is.
Should be 30 seconds put on the clock.
Bode, you know, I could sense that is why I brought that up. Feeling pretty good about now.
Well, you're becoming very astute at watching these matches, John, so I figured you'd have the call on that one.
They're leaving 24. I don't know what's going on because.
No, I think they have to put 30 seconds
right,
on.
and I think Paul Marino was talking to Coach Kosovoom.
There it is,
There's
30
the
seconds.
30.
It's on the clock. All right, this is sudden victory. This is a tiebreaker. You ride him out, you win. You get an escape, you win. Or any kind of point. Here comes the point.
There it is. And Mike Weiss wins.
The number 1 seed. 3-2 sudden victory. Tiebreaker.
Glassboro's second title. And we go down to the heavyweight, Voach.
The last match.
The medal winners at 189 pounds.
And we go to the heavyweight. We have A third place match, Brandon Cage of Glassboro, and a wild one, Coach.
Yes.
Against David Robinson of Gateway. It was one of those matches like we saw earlier, 5-0, then 5-5, and who almost got pinned and who almost going to get pinned, but Cage advances, picks up his 24th win of the season, 25th win of the season. So he advances, and the finals against it's Demetrius Hester for Paulsboro, a freshman, 25-5, Ryan DePalma, a senior from Clayton, 22-3.
Demetrius Hester, the #1 seed, 23-5, entering the tournament, a 127 pin against Bill Baker of West Deptford. And then he had a 132 fall against the Admiral from Gateway, David Robinson. Ryan DePalma.
There's a takedown for Hester.
21-second fall against Thomas Shewart of Pittman. 327 fall against Brandon Cage of Glassboro. As you mentioned, Brandon Cage comes back and gets a pin over Robinson to advance to Region 8.
And there's something you see a lot more from Demetrius Hester, is grabbing that leg.
Yeah, he was pretty much a bear hug guy early in the season.
Another takedown, 4-1. As far as the Palmas, 3 losses. Frank Boyer, some quality losses, Vogue. Andrew Jackson, we talked about Jackson,
right.
Who's unbeaten, 7-1. Bill Landry, a pretty good heavyweight for Pemberton, his other loss. We'll get to Hester in a little bit. 1 minute to wrestle here in the first period. Demetrius Hester with a 4-1 lead. And the freshman's been coming of age recently, Vogue.
Yes, they have. All of them in the lineup, and of course, oh my, oh boy, oh boy, oh brother!
How about that?
Oh my!
So Gloucester wins 8 out of 9 finals. Here's his mom. Is she happy, Vogue? She was calling the pin. One boy won, and one boy finished third place.
Yep.
There he is, watch out. He was going to jump up and everybody wanted to get near him. I don't know, I'm not jumping up on you. He wanted to jump on somebody. Mama went and got him though. Oh man,
my.
He's got to get his hand raised first. There it is. Wow. And I was getting ready to talk about Hester Voach real quick. And ever since that Absegami match where he lost 1-0 to Brockman, I mean, he's come on. His one loss was to Cunningham, who was undefeated, 3-2 in double overtime. Silsky from Jackson. And then he lost in Hunter Central once and in Virginia once. Unbelievable finish. Paulsboro wins 8 individual championships. We'll take a break and wrap it up after this. And welcome back to Gloucester County College with John Vogening. I'm John Mondelli, joined by Dan Zander, the most outstanding wrestler. And Voge, you don't know this, but this guy boycotted our show because we didn't talk about him.
Oh,
when we did our show, he went out running because you forgot to talk about him. My excuse was he didn't bring us one of those chickens from Chick-fil-A sandwich. I'm a big Chick-fil-A guy. But anyway, first of all, congratulations. I watched you in the semifinal, and I just thought, what a job you did. You just kept going after Collins, not letting up. A lot of times when people get a big lead, they'll try and stay away, not get caught, but you just kept going after him. What was your theory on that?
Well, Collins, he's a very dangerous wrestler. I watched him last year, how he's taking kids apart last year, so I knew if I let up at all, that could be the end. So I tried to keep going as hard as I could.
Now your mindset going into the finals, because you wrestled CJ before. He, I think, pinned you in the first period, but what was your mindset going into this one?
Well, after the first match, it was kind of hard to live with for a while, and I knew the only time I'd get a shot at him again was districts. So I basically just felt like I didn't have anything to lose, so I just went out and gave it everything I had.
Vogt, you gave us a lot of good stuff over there, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And let me tell you, the most intriguing part about all this is his brother Harry is here. Harry is a freshman down at George Mason University, starting 197-pounder. And when he got the call today that his brother beat Collins in the semifinals, he jumped a train and made it here for the final tonight. I think that's super.
Yeah, what was your thought when you saw your brother show up?
Well, my dad told me as I was walking in for the finals that Harry was on his way, and he basically said if that doesn't motivate you, then I don't know what will. And I knew if I didn't win, Harry was going to want a rematch with me. So.
And he was involved in a little controversy last year with Zach Guerin. Was there back points? Wasn't there back points?
Yes.
I'm thinking the Gateway people are still talking about that, aren't they?
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. And when they aired the districts the other day, I think that refreshed their memory a little.
How about the team? When you're wrestling for a team like Gateway, it's a co-op program with kids from Woodbury, kids from Gateway. How tough is that?
You know, it's not as tough as you'd think. You know, a lot of us we've been wrestling together for a long time. Like me and Corey, we're like best friends, so it's a lot easier than anyone would think.
Okay, we're going to ride the bandwagon, so I hope Wednesday night you have your TV on, you don't go for a run until after 8:30, okay? Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, Vogt, a great night. I mean, that was obviously the premier match when you looked at all the matches, wasn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, you're taking a wrestler who'd only gone the distance twice this year, and C.J. Marina, an overwhelming favorite, especially after he had pinned Xander in the first period of their previous match. But Xander just showed that wrestling instinct, that wrestling mystique. You never count anybody out until it's all over, and just did a great job.
And it's nice to see schools like Gateway win a couple, Glassboro won a couple, so that's always nice. Paulsboro obviously stole the show. There have been times when they've had 9 champions. Today they've had 8.
Yeah, twice they had 9 champions in 2001, and in 1991 they had 8 in 2002 and 8 in 1981. So this side's their second most ever. And of course, the intriguing thing is that Silvestro was the champion, Hester was the champion, Wurtenberger was the champion, and they're all freshmen. Right. So they'll be back for a shot at getting 4 district championships.
Well, of course, everybody, not just us, was looking for a Marina Vince Jones final in Region 8. Xander throws a little monkey wrench into all that.
Yeah, he does, and of course that's going to make it even more intriguing down in Region 8. And of course, the other thing coming out of this tournament is that Trevor Suter remains undefeated. David Smith won his 3rd district title. So District 29 has some good representation going into Region 8.
And of course, Paulsboro had 3 freshmen win today. That's pretty amazing also.
Oh, very amazing. And of course, Martell has been consistent all year, and he's coming into his own. They're just getting better and better and better right now. And 8 district champions is certainly a feather in Paul Marina's hat. And of course, Paul Marina was the coach of the year.
Okay, we have a couple more matches to go. We have regions. We have the All-Star match. So let's get some rest. Get psyched up. We have next week to go. For John Vogt and the entire crew, I'm John Mondelli. We'll see you next time.